Well, Indiana has more than 1,500 miles of hard surface and off-road trails open for bicycles. Some communities have more miles than others, while some have none at all. The Indiana Bike Trails Task Force is looking at a statewide approach to create a larger, more comprehensive trail network. A member of the task force and president of the Indiana Greenways Foundation is Mitch Barloga. He's here now with more on what Indiana needs to do to improve trail miles and connectivity. And Mitch, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Gary.
Let's talk about bike trails in Indiana. Seemingly, they seem to be getting a lot more traction, a lot more attention. The governor committing $90 million for trails was a big shot in the arm. Talk about the statewide bike system and where things are going.
Certainly. In Indiana, we are very unique in the fact that we have a planned network of trails throughout the state. It's a visionary corridor network. It was instituted through Governor Daniels, and over the last 10 to 15 years, the Indiana Department of Natural Resources has been spearheading this effort, and today that is kind of cultivated into this next level trail funding, and that is being directed towards many of these visionary corridors connecting our state and also some local systems as well.
And ultimately, the plan is, or the vision is, to essentially have the state entirely connected by trails?
Yes, I believe the entire network itself comes in at about 500 miles, probably about 1,000 miles actually. 500 is still what we need to get accomplished to connect all the major population centers of the state, including destinations such as state parks.
Talk about in your view, the importance of these trails. People say, oh, they're a nice thing to have, and that is true, but I know in talking to economic developers and others, the impact on quality of life, quality of place, those types of things really economic development really factors in as well.
Certainly. I've worked on trails for nearly 20 years of my career, and I have come to call them community elixirs, practically. I mean, you have quality of life benefits for people that use them for health, because when they are located near population centers, people are going to use them more often. Obviously, their health is going to improve. That's going to lower their cost for health care. They're also going to save money on transportation costs because they don't have to use a car as much. And also, the economic bottom line of the community improves significantly. And as one example, homes that are located near trails rise in value.
Interesting. As you talk about different pockets around the state of Indiana, in terms of some communities that really are embracing this whole bike trail idea, Hammond is one, as we were talking off camera, that has really become aggressive in that area.
It's been an amazing situation with Mayor McDermott in the city of Hammond. The mayor himself was introduced to the joys, so to speak, of using trails from his own staff, and now he is building an amazing network throughout the community. Wolf Lake is where it started. Wolf Lake itself has a 5-mile trail around the entire lake, and the entire community is now being built with bridges that are going over major roadways to facilitate safe travel. And today, Hammond is credited with the most trails per capita in the state.
Interesting. How about demand? You mentioned the $90 million from the governor in this biennium, but how about demand? How much demand is there for these trails?
Tremendous demand. In fact, this first round of funding from the DNR, the $25 million that went out, they have now received over $140 million worth of requests, about 84 projects statewide, and that's just the first cut. And those were projects that were supposedly shovel-ready. These aren't the ones that have now gone forward for more research regarding property acquisition. That next round is coming up later this year. We're going to have more projects coming out with that cycle.
As we wrap up, how would you rate Indiana as a bike trail, a trail state, if you will, compared to maybe some other locales?
It really is one of the best states in the country for trail development, and it helps that a lot of our state, the geography is flat, the trails are easy to ride, but we have very passionate advocates on the ground, not only advocates in the private but also in the public sector that believe in the benefits of these systems.
All right, bike trails and tourism, economic development and economic impact around the state as well. Mitch Barloga, thanks for joining us with Perspective. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Gary.
All right.